Okay, here's some crazy dog facts. By now, you've probably heard that dogs have a good sense of smell, but that's a wee bit of an understatement. Their sense of smell is so overpowered that they can sniff out diseases such as COVID, diabetes, malaria, and cancer. Cancer has a scent? Why go to the doctor and pay thousands of dollars when Lucky over there could just get a good whiff and be like, yeah, that's cancer, you're f***. And get this, they can taste water. Water. That's a pretty big deal if you ask me. Also, they just know when natural disasters are about to strike, like hours beforehand, because they can like sense a change in the Earth's vibrations. Yeah, that's some voodoo magic bullshit. They also know when you're about to have a seizure. Like they just know. Why do we even hire doctors and meteorologists when you can just get yourself a border collie and join my Discord? Here are some wild wombat facts. Wombats love to poop. Like, they literally produce up to 100 pieces of shit per night. That's a lot of shit. But unlike me, they don't just poop for fun. They use it to mark their territory and communicate with one another using shit. So, you know, their poop's gotta be optimized somehow. And how did evolution decide to optimize a wombat's regular schmegular poop? They made them into little cubes so that they can stack them without rolling away. That's pretty clever. I'm pretty sure the mud block in Minecraft was modeled after this. Wombats also fight against predators using their big buns of steel. They quite literally barricade the entrance of their burrows with their ass and will take 0 damage from anything that tries to get in. But that's not all that ass do, because their cheeks are so powerful, so voluptuous that if you fuck with them enough, they can literally crush your skull. What? Thick thighs save lives? More like, yeah. Okay, here are some insane rabbit facts. You know how rabbits like eating carrots, right? Yeah, no, that is a big fat lie. Carrots are not good for their health, and it was fake news that was started by children's cartoons that we just ran with because why not? Also, the saying "fuck like rabbits," quite the perplexing simile. Want to know why they say it? It's because they can birth up to 800 baby bunnies. How is that possible? Well, it's because of this. That is a Harry Potter spell. Oh, they also eat their own shit, which, yeah, that doesn't sound very appetizing, but it's good for them. They're recycling. But the best part, rabbits can't throw up. It is impossible. They have no gag reflex. How freakishly convenient. They also just don't sweat. That must be nice. And they have built-in ACs in their ears too? Like, what? So the other day I saw this interview clip about Hello Kitty, and it just look.
Is Hello Kitty a cat? So Hello Kitty is not a cat. She's actually a little girl.
What the f did you just say to me? A little girl? Do not piss me off right now, Joe White. Who even are you? Why would you say that? That's like saying Mickey Mouse is not a real mouse. He's a little boy. Like, what? What about Hello Kitty's boyfriend, Dear Daniel? Surely he must also be a boy in a catsuit, otherwise, what is this, bestiality? What about the rest of the Sanrio characters? Is Karopi not a frog? Is My Melody not a rabbit? Is it just a human in a catsuit hanging out with a bunch of animals? Stop trying to make shit weird, you pick me. She's a fucking cat. Okay, here are some crazy sloth facts. You might think sloths are just goofy little guys who just vibe and hang out, but don't let that distract you from the fact that they can knock you the f out if they wanted to. Sloths are 3 times stronger than humans, and they are masters at pulling. Like, they could do a 1-arm pull-up out the womb. That is insane for a newborn. Also, no one ever talks about the fact that they're like hella good at swimming. That they move like 3 times faster swimming than they do on land, which I guess isn't saying much in terms of speed. 3 times faster than a sloth is still pretty fucking slow. But it's not always about the speed, all right? At least my ex certainly didn't think so. But it's because they can hold their breath for up to 40 minutes underwater. Like, I'm sorry, 40 minutes? That's like 4 times longer than a dolphin. Like, what? Like, imagine being an aquatic animal and getting gapped in your home turf by a fucking sloth of all things. That's so embarrassing. Here's some more crazy sloth facts. Now, you can probably imagine that when you spend 99.9999% of your life just hanging around, you're bound to fall. And sloths are clumsy little guys who fall all the time. But it doesn't matter. Want to know why? Because sloths have evolved to literally take 0 fall damage up to 100 feet. 100 feet? Do you have any idea how insane that is? That's like 10 elephants. Like, is it fun for them? Because if I could fall from that high without a scratch, I'd be falling all day. It is also a known fact that sloths are herbivores and they primarily eat leaves. But leaves have a lot of fiber. And what happens when you consume a fuck ton of fiber? Flatulence. That's just a fancy word for farting. But a sloth's stomach is 2/3 of its entire torso. And when 2/3 of your upper body is constantly filled with gas, you basically get a built-in pool floaty. So, you know, ignoring the fact that it's basically a big floating fart, that's pretty cool. Here's some deeply disturbing bird facts. Starting with the turkey vulture, which is honestly probably one of the least sexy birds I've ever seen. Besides looking like an absolute dog boner, these guys also projectile vomit up to 10 feet onto anything that they deem an op, which is a gnarly-ass defense mechanism. Not to mention, the only 2 things in their diet are carcasses and garbage. So yeah, I'd imagine their yak is pretty threatening. They also piss and shit all over their legs as a way to cool down from the heat, which a lot of birds do. But judging by their diet, I'd say that this is just a wee bit worse. A lot of birds also do this thing where they'll cover their entire bodies in ants and insects, like just for fun. That is psychopathic behavior. Now, most birds don't have dicks, but ducks do. And not just any plain old Joe Schmo schlong. No, they've got the cavatappi special. And to make matters worse, when erect, these guys could be packing up to 17 inches. What? I'm gonna go kill myself now. Growing up, I feel like we would watch Phineas and Ferb and think, aw, having a pet platypus sure does seem cool. It's not that cool. Male platypuses, such as Perry the platypus, are actually venomous when they're not inside of a cartoon. They got little spiky spurs behind their feet that they can use to stab you and poison you, which, honestly, I take back what I said. That actually is pretty cool. But why do the men always get all the cool shit? What are we, sexist? Well, the ladies actually have some freaky little quirks of their own due to their lack of nipples. Oh no, without nipples, how are the babies gonna drink milk? That's milk, you sick fuck. Yeah, the moms will literally just ooze the milk out of their skin as if it's just sweating it out. And instead of sucking on a titty for milk, like most mammals do, the babies will just fucking suck that shit right off their skin. Oh, also Disney, being the fuckers that they are, really wanted Perry the platypus to have a girlfriend in the show, despite the creators themselves saying that Perry is asexual. So what did the creators do? They said, fuck you, and turned it into a gag within the show. I love it when Disney doesn't get what they want. Wacky whale facts. The blue whale is quite ginormous, so naturally one would think that everything about its anatomy's gotta be quite large as well. You know, bigger mouth, bigger heart, bigger penis. But that's where you're wrong, because blue whales actually have a small ass throat. A teeny tiny throat that's no bigger than a single tennis ball, which is crazy when you put it to scale, but also makes sense because blue whales pretty much only eat krill, and those are small as shit. So their throats never needed to evolve any bigger with the rest of their body. But it's just funny that an animal as large as the blue whale with a massive ass yap hole that could theoretically fit thousands of grapefruits wouldn't even be able to swallow a single one of them. This would pretty much never happen because whales are very good at not swallowing things that they're not supposed to, unlike humans. But what would happen if a blue whale accidentally swallowed something huge? Like your mother. Not only would the whale fucking die, it would be a slow and painful death, because they wouldn't even technically choke to death since they breathe out of their blowhole, which isn't connected to their esophagus. So imagine if like a whole watermelon was just stuck in your throat, but you could still breathe. That would be incredibly painful. Koalas are stupid. For one, this is their brain. It's got about as many folds as a Tyson chicken breast. I mean, the only thing these guys eat is eucalyptus leaves, which just so happens to be, you guessed it, literal poison. The only reason koalas can even eat it in the first place is because they just straight raw dogged it for millions of years until they eventually evolved to be able to digest it. And I'm no scholar, obviously, but I'd imagine that this would lead to some long-term neurological consequences, if you catch my drift. Like, yeah, they could digest it now, but it's still poison. Even if I could live off of eating shit, it doesn't change the fact that it's shit. Not to mention, they offer zero nutritional value as a primary food source. I mean, it's a fucking poisonous leaf. And you think that because it's all they eat, that surely they at least know what it is. But no, they don't. Because if you took the leaf off of its branch and like waved it in front of the koala or like put it on a plate, they won't know what to do. They will literally starve to death unless the leaf is hanging off of a tree. Not the qualities of a very bright individual, dare I say. Here's some crazy cat facts. You know how they say cats always land on their feet? Well, that is a lie. Cats can survive a fall of up to 32 stories with minimal injuries. You think they do that by landing on their feet? No, cats are smarter than you and they know that they'll break their legs and then they'll die. So instead, they land on their stomachs and then they just walk away. Now, how do they know to do that? Did they take AP Physics? They just know. Terminal velocity comes pre-installed. Wow. It is also a known fact that cats have godlike hearing, but did you know that they have 32 muscles per ear? 32, that is a very large number. How does it fit in there? You think it's impressive that dogs can taste water? Yeah, well, cats can hydrate with seawater because their kidneys can just filter out the excess sodium. Why can't we do that? Not to mention, they've caused the extinction of 33 different species. What? They're gonna come for us next. Our only hope is for you to subscribe.